boys and girls. Welcome to our lesson today. Um, what we are going to do today is very special. The special way to grow vegetables is to grow in harmony with nature. So, does anyone know what harmony means? Now, some of you might say that it means peace, and some people will say friendship. And maybe some people will say working together. If you guessed these words, then you are on the right track. We are going to grow vegetables in a special way, which is to work with Mother Nature together. And Mother Nature, together with us, are going to help each other.
Hi, we're at Little Parrot Farm and look at all the vegetables that are growing here. We're going to go talk to a farmer right now and see if they can help us with growing vegetables. Oh, hello. Look who we have here.
Hello, it's me, Farmer John.
Oh, hi, Farmer John. We came for help on growing vegetables.
That's perfect. I'm just doing some preparation to grow, and you can join me.
Oh, we caught you at a good time.
Yes, I'm preparing the soil.
Oh, is soil very important?
Yes. Vegetables need sun, water, air, and soil to grow. So soil is very, very important.
So what does soil do for plants?
See this vegetable here, I just pull out from the soil. The roots grab onto the soil like, the legs that we stand on. The roots also absorb water, nutrients from the soil to feed. Vegetables need food and water just like you and me.
Oh, thanks for reminding us because we did learn that last year about what different parts of the plants do. Roots help the plants stand and absorb water and nutrients. But now that I think of it, actually, the plants should thank the soil for the good support and also for providing food and water.
That's right. We owe a lot to the soil. Soil is actually alive. You may want to look it up.
Okay, we will do that.
Hey, it looks like Farmer John gave us some homework. So let's find out what soil is all about. Do you have soil in your house? Is it in your front yard or backyard? Under the nice flowers or under the tree? Have you seen soil in the schoolyard? Now we should find out what soil is made of. And what does soil do for plants or vegetables? So here, I'm looking at information right now and searching. There, I see it. Let me show you. I have seen that soil is made up of water, air, and tiny little rocks. So that is not too surprising because if you pick up soil, you can see that it is sandy and there are really, really tiny rocks there. But what is really interesting that I also found out, here we go. Soil has what is called organic matter. Organic matter is a big word, but it really means what used to be living, such as wilted flowers and plants, and also things like fallen leaves, dead insects, worms, or animals. So what does soil do for plants? Farmer John has also showed us that soil provides support for the roots. Remember, he pulled that out and you can see how the roots were anchored into the soil. So the soil provides support for the roots of the plants to stand to push themselves up. It is just like the ground that supports our legs. Soil also provides water and nutrients for vegetables and plants through their roots. See how the little yellow balls on this diagram? These are the tiny nutrients that will get drawn into the roots from the soil. The last thing that Farmer John said, though, was soil is alive. So what does alive mean? What do you think? Well, I think I am alive because I talk, I move, and I grow. Your green plant is alive because it grows bigger too. Does soil grow? What makes it alive? Well, maybe we should watch this next video and it will show us.
This is just dirt, right? There's nothing going on inside of it. The real story of soil is much different. Soil is a living, dynamic, natural resource. It helps us grow food, fiber, and fuel. But it doesn't do its job alone. Soil's home to more creatures than you'd believe. Have you ever seen a gopher dig a hole in the soil? What about burrowing owls or gopher tortoises? And moles live most of their life underground in the soil. These larger animals depend on soil for protection. They make their homes there. The soil protects them from weather and predators. And you've probably seen earthworms come out of the soil after a long rainstorm. Their homes were flooded. Earthworms are nature's plow, active in turning, mixing, and aerating the soil. The burrows of earthworms act like large pores that allow water from rain and melting snow to infiltrate into the soil, instead of running off and causing erosion. Ants are amazing creatures that live in soils. They make some awesome tunnels with areas called chambers that act as living rooms and kitchens. Workers in ant colonies are constantly building their nests to accommodate their growing numbers. While they do this, they make pores in the soil that help plants get air and water for growing.
So larger animals like gophers and moles, they live underground, and the soil protects them from weather and predators. Now, worms and ants, they dig holes and tunnels, so they make pores in the soil that help the plants to get air and water. So have you seen worms and moles in action? We are going to show you what we found on the farm when we went there. Wow, was that fun to watch? Well, some people are scared of worms, but they're very useful in terms of mixing the soil and making tunnels and helping us out. And well, it turns out also that there are some really small living beings in the soil, and they are called microbes.
But the greatest number of living creatures in soils are those you can't see with the human eye. Although small, the activity of these organisms is vital for life as we know it. And there are more microbes in one handful of soil than there are humans on the earth. Microbes, like bacteria and fungi, depend on soil for their homes. And they give back to the soil too. These microbes decompose organic matter in the soil, returning nutrients to the soil that plants can use. They aid in the weathering of rocks and minerals, which release important nutrients for plant growth. Microbes even live in root nodules found on some plants and help these plants process nitrogen to use as food. In return, the plant provides sugar to the microbes. What a happy relationship! From large to small, living creatures that depend on soil also return something to the soil. It's a beneficial relationship. This biodiversity of life in soil is critical to healthy soil and a healthy world. Humans need to respect the soils too, and the creatures that depend on them. They provide our food, our homes, and even our fun. Soils sustain life.
That there are more microbes in a handful of soil than what? Than there are humans on Earth. Can you believe that? There is something very important also that goes on in the soil that we need to tell you about. And he mentioned it. And remember, organic matters are sometimes big. They are big leaves or flowers that have fallen onto the soil. So how do we break them down into small nutrients that plants can absorb? That process is called decomposing. Now, decomposing means breaking apart large pieces into smaller and smaller pieces. For example, when your mom buys a big broccoli for you to eat, do you eat the whole broccoli in one bite? No, right? Because your mouth is not that big. So mom needs to cut it down into smaller pieces in order for you to eat it. So decomposing is the same idea. The larger animals, worms, insects, and microbes, they all help to decompose these large leaves or flowers into small nutrients that plant roots can actually absorb. So they all help us feed the vegetables and they make soil a better place. So now, for all of you who go out all the time and play outdoors, we already know that there are lots of animals above ground. What are some that you can name? Do you see bees? You see butterflies and some hummingbirds? Excellent. It is a great sign when you see them in your garden. But now we also know through watching the video that there are many living beings that are living below ground. Do you recognize any? Some worms, snails, roly-polies, centipedes? Exactly. They help us decompose and mix up nutrients in the soil. And all of these beautiful creatures together, they make up what is called, another big word, biodiversity. Okay, bio means life, and diversity means many and different. And soil helps these creatures to live, to give them protection, to give them shelter. They in turn help the soil to have space, air, to have tunnels, right? And they also help the soil to provide food and nutrients, water to plants and vegetables. So that is why Jim in a video told us that we should respect soil and the creatures that depend on them. That is why soil is alive with these living beings. It is constantly changing with lots of different living beings in it. Well, it seems like we finished the homework assignment that Farmer John gave us. Let's go back to the farm and talk to Farmer John and tell him what we learned.
Hey, Farmer John. We are back and we found out about soil.
Oh, good. Yeah, what do you find?
Well, we found that soil is home to many living beings like moles and worms, ants and microbes. And some of them make holes in the soil that would store water, air, and others make nutrients for the roots of the vegetables to absorb.
Good work. Looks like you got some good information.
Yeah, many living beings like the microbes are like super tiny. But how do you know you have lots of them in the soil then?
That's a good question. Let me show you what is a good piece of soil versus a dirt, which doesn't really have any living beings inside. Look at this piece right here. This is dirt. Dirt is hard and it does not have anything inside. Good soil, like what I have here, has dark color. The colors tell you there are lots of organic matter. Remember what organic matter is.
Yes. It is what used to be living like leaves, flowers, worms, microbes, and many others.
The darker the color, the more organic matter, which also means the more different types of living beings are inside the soil.
Oh, I remember that. There's a term for that. It's called biodiversity, which means there's many different living beings living in the soil.
Yes, yes. The more living things we have, that means the more air tunnels, such as worms, more water gets to, and more food gets delivered to the plants. This also means the better the vegetable grow. So we are thankful to our soil, or rather, we are thankful to the living beings in that makes our soil so good for the vegetables. In fact, the soil is alive.
Right. I had no idea that soil and living beings do so much work under the ground so that we can get to eat these beautiful vegetables.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to give you some vegetables to take home and you can try them.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to get this fresh vegetable to go home. Thank you, Farmer John. Thank you to the soil, and thank you to all the living beings that live in the soil.